So a good win last week. What was the message to the group this week?
Yeah, so obviously really strong performance last week, and clearly they played some really powerful footy. We, as I said afterwards, we probably let in a couple of goals that we would like to have not let in. But overall, very, very strong performance. There's a 6-day break, so we've got to make sure we recover really well. But tonight's training is really important because we want to make sure we still maintain that training standard. So that's some of the messaging is just keep training well, and we'll keep playing well.
Well, kind of like everyone started clicking together or something. Did you get that sense that
Um,
everything was coming together?
Yeah, I think some of our ball movement was probably cleaner than it has been. So offensively was probably as well as we've moved the ball. But around the contest it's probably about the same as it's been, the same sort of level. And defensively we're possibly even just a bit off. So it was a really good performance. We're really happy, but yeah, there's still some work to do.
Injury updates? Chelsea Randall pulled up.
Yeah, so pretty clear at this stage. So we've got a relatively clean bill of health coming out of the weekend. Obviously Chloe got suspended, so that's unfortunate. She played a really strong game, and it would have been nice to see her continue on, keep developing. But the week off will hopefully do her well in terms of, she's a young player, so hopefully a week off won't hurt her, and she'll be back next week.
I was going to ask, how are you going to fill her role, do you think?
She's done really well. She's kicked obviously a few goals in a couple of games, and so it's a challenge for us, but I'm sure there'll be plenty ready to step in and have a go.
And what message do you give to a young footy player, being done for rough conduct?
She was really unfortunate in some respects. Initially the tackle was perfect technically. Her head was tucked in behind her opponent, and so she wasn't aware that the ball had released. And then probably the only thing was the final motion. That's just, there is a duty of care for your opponent, and it probably was just a bit forceful, which is tough, really tough in a split-second decision to back off that little bit. But that's part of the responsibility.
She's handling the suspension fine.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but ultimately there's not a lot you can do about it. We didn't challenge it. We felt that on the the precedents that have been set, she was probably not going to get off it, so we opted to take the week.
Now, I was looking at the team selection. I don't know what you can tell me and what you can't, but I kind of feel like you've got a selection kind of plethora coming up. So Maybe Nankiville, Hannah Martin, how's she? Jenna McCormick back from, she's missed out on the Matildas.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so Jenna made a preliminary squad but didn't make the final train-on squad with the Matildas, which was unfortunate. She had a great soccer season, but the upside for us is she's now available for the remainder of the AFLW season, and she was available last week, but she had only trained the once leading into that game, and in round one we played her with limited training, intermittent training, but more training than one session. So we felt to give her the full week and a half to prepare was going to be best, but she will come into the team this week, so that's exciting for us. And similarly, Hannah Martin will play. She came out of the Carlton game a bit sore, but has recovered really well. And her performance in that game in particular was really strong, so she deserves selection.
Sally Riley?
And Sally will also hold a position, so she was the emergency last week, so she'll play. And I guess you're wondering who's out then?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so Sarah Perkins is going to miss out this week, which is a really tough call. She contributed in both our wins, which has been great, and it was a really line ball, but ultimately her performance just wasn't quite at the level that she wants from herself and that we need, and so she'll get an opportunity to go back, work on those things, and once she demonstrates that, she'll be absolutely back in contention and hopefully play a really important role for us late in the season.
What sort of things are those?
Yeah, so just basically her contest work. So obviously we know she's a great finisher, and she uses the ball really well, and she brought some really good pressure as well. So she did a lot of things right. But ultimately, she's going to work on her contest and win more contests that she's in, and that'll put her in really good stead. We know that she can do it. It's just a matter of demonstrating that.
Erin Phillips, we actually didn't talk about her after the game last week, but we should have, because she was probably best on ground. How is she going?
she's going well. She's playing a really important role for us. Obviously, she's an enormous talent, both midfield and forward. And I guess probably the thing that sometimes gets missed is what she provides for her teammates around her, because obviously when she's in the area, the opposition defence get a bit jumpy, and often that provides the opportunity for others to move into space and be used. That happened a number of times last weekend. So, yeah, a real asset, and we're obviously very fortunate to have her.
You said you didn't, at the beginning of the season, you didn't want it to be the Randall and Phillips show.
Yeah.
They're both still doing really well, but you've got lots of, Anne Hatchard I'm thinking of, who's really coming up. So how do you think it is still the Randall and Phillips show?
Well, not in my opinion. I'm sure, when they are great players, they'll continue to be great players for as long as they play. But we very much want to try and balance the load and make sure that everyone's contributing. And yeah, obviously Anne is a great example of someone that's worked amazingly hard over the off season, and therefore is getting the results from all that hard work. She's certainly been really impressive in the first 3 games, and she's managing a really high workload and having a really strong influence on the outcomes. So we're really pleased for her. But there's a lot of others that are in that similar vein as well. So yeah, we've got to just keep going. This weekend will be a great challenge. Clearly Fremantle undefeated, so they're doing a lot right. But yeah, if we're going to get a result, it'll come down to more than just the stars of the show.
Now, a month ago you did play Fremantle. You beat them by 20 points. It was a pre-season game, but the team that you played a month ago, watching them now, it seems like a bit of a different team. Would you agree?
Yeah, well, I think you always got to be very mindful not to read too much into pre-season games, because both teams are at different stages of their progress in terms of how they've been training, what they bring to that game. I know certainly their midfield over the 3 games has been really dominant. They've taken the ball inside 50 and scored more efficiently than any other team in the league. So midfield and ahead of the ball, they're as good as anyone at the moment, and clearly that's going to be a great challenge for us. The ground itself, we played it well last time round in terms of using that space and running hard. But on what I've seen from Fremantle, I think they've adapted really well over the last 3 games, and I think it'll be a really good game. Really looking forward to it. Actually, should be exciting.
According to there's a former Crow in there too, Kelly Gibson.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, she's going really well. She's they've got a potent forward line. They've moved one of their former defenders forward, Ebony Antonio, and she's high quality. And and obviously Gibson and Horton form a pretty strong 3-pronged attack. So that's a good challenge for our defenders.
According to champion data in the ranking points, Ebony's first, and then comes Erin Phillips, and then 2 Fremantle players, so Bowers and Hooker. That sounds like it's going to be a good game.
It does indeed. I don't read the stats, so hopefully glad you brought those along.
Can you say something about Justine Mules?
Yeah, of course. So Justine just brings great energy, great pressure defensively, and her attack on the ball is outstanding. So she's predominantly playing wing and a little bit of half forward, but just 2-way running up and down the ground and great in the contest. So yeah, she's one of those others that is certainly making her mark on this season.